I think it's time I came clean to you guys. I've been lying about something for some time now, and that lie is just starting to eat me up. I can't keep the truth from you guys anymore. So here it is. Blink is actually my favourite character in Spyro. I keep making out in the live streams and the Discord that he's Satan in mole form, that even the mention of his name sends me into a rabid seizure. But it's all a ruse. It's all a lie. I adore Blink so much, more so in fact than Spyro himself. And I have 5 reasons right here in this video to prove why Blink is not only my favourite character in A Hero's Tale, but why he should also be your favourite character in the entire Spyro series. So here we go. Number 1, and perhaps the most obvious reason, he's a mole. I mean, come on. We've had enough games and films that include dragons as protagonists, antagonists, plucky sidekicks, helpful mentors. Isn't it time the mole got some of that limelight? And let's be honest, if you really thought about it, which appeals to you more? Big, dumb, fire-breathing lizard that causes havoc and destruction of villages, or smart little mole that keeps to himself underground and may occasionally ruin your front yard? Number 2. He has the decency to wear clothes and keep them on. As much as I love the Spyro series, there's one thing that's always made me feel incredibly uncomfortable, and that's the fact Spyro refuses to wear any sort of clothing. What sort of message is he getting across to our kids by walking around in the buff? And it's not just Spyro either. Look, Sheila, I don't know where they do things where you come from, but come on, this is a kid's game. At least she had the decency to cover up for Reignited, and don't get me started on Hunter. Honestly, it's disgusting, and I don't understand how this series could get an E rating with this glaring problem. Fortunately for us, Blink is a reliable and mature mole who doesn't strip off the moment the camera turns away from him. Not only has he got that harness on to cover up his, oh Lord forgive me for saying this, nipples, he's even wearing suitable shoes for those of us who don't want to see his gammy mole feet. The goggles, well, just an added bonus, are obviously a nod to everybody's favourite and far superior to Pokemon show, Digimon. Number 3. He has fresh aerophobia. Now, back in the 80s and 90s, it was enough for a protagonist to just exist, with no real backstory or personality. Take one of my favourite characters of all time, for example, Lara Croft. At least in the first game, she really wasn't much more than a backpack and a glorified pair of, oh forgive me Lord again, breasts that happened to know how to wield a number of weapons and the best way to take down a T-Rex, amongst other things. Also, shameless plug for my next video. She didn't have that much in way of personality, but hey, that's fine because yay, we're killing stuff. In the early 2000s, however, it wasn't enough for a protagonist to just be an unstoppable killing machine. They needed personality. They needed reasons to do what they did. They needed faults in their character. And developers of A Hero's Tale, Eurocom, had to think up something truly unique if they were going to make new side character Blink stand out from the crowd. And the answer was fresh aerophobia.
Fresh aerophobia?
To put it in layman's terms, fresh aerophobia is the fear of not being trapped deep underground. It's an incredibly rare phobia, you've probably never heard of it, but it makes perfect sense for a mole to have this fear, and also it makes his backstory so tragic. You just can't help but root for him now, can you? And you know what? Thanks solely to this game and Blink's fresh aerophobia, more developers have the confidence to flesh out their characters. Now Samus has a mental breakdown when confronting Ridley, and Kratos suddenly cares about people and doesn't feel the need to chop the head off every person he meets. So thank you Blink and Eurocom for making your characters more than mindless murderers. Number 4. He's slow and clumsy. Now hang on a tickle, you're probably thinking that's a bad thing, right? No, of course it isn't. All the other characters you play as in A Hero's Tale, Spyro, Hunter, Sergeant Bird, Sparks, they're all fairly simple to control and, apart from a few hiccups, feel smooth and fluid to maneuver while using their various abilities. But this brings about its own problems. They're too easy to play, and after a while, I find myself growing bored with them, which is why I'm incredibly grateful Blink exists in the Spyro series. I mean, who really wants super fluid gliding as Spyro or responsive double jumping as Hunter, when you can kind of hang in the air and then fall off the platform you were aiming for as Blink? even though his feet were touching it. It's not just the double jumping that adds to the excitement and tension of playing Blink. There's also the monkey bars that he'll sometimes grab and sometimes won't. And even that awesome blaster his uncle, the professor, gave him to deal with enemies. Never you mind that it takes 3 times as long to kill anything as Spyro's flame breath or Hunter's bow, or the fact it can overheat when used too often. That's a good thing. It all adds to the challenge, slows down the game a tad, and everybody knows I personally love backtracking in games due to awkward mechanics and difficult platforming. And finally, number 5, probably the most logical reason I have on this list for why Blink is best boy, the minigame levels. Arguably the toughest levels in the game. So tough in fact that even I, the great Tori, who's never been known to quit a game when it gets too tough, had to give up 100%ing a Hero's Tale because of the last Blink minigame alone. You want a challenge? This is a challenge, and you will die over and over and over again. Precision platforming where even being 1 toe out of place results in death? Yay! Taking so long to finish said minigame that humanity has transcended past needing a mortal shell? Yay! Every Blink level looking exactly the same? Yay! Having to repeat every level twice for the light gem? So there you go. That's my 5 reasons as to why Blink is the best character in the Spyro series. I hope I've swayed some of you over to the mole side, and if not, I hope you can at least appreciate what a great character he is, and see that he is far superior to Spyro. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as it really helps me out, and I'll see you in whatever I play or talk about next. Bye bye! Shout out to supporters Klaxon, Thomas Hinton, Jeffrey Thomas, Razak, Zugador, Ross Ward, Samuel DeBoss, Poplio the Destroyer, and Morendor. I really appreciate all the support that everybody gives me, whether it's through Patreon or YouTube or even just turning up to watch every live stream, every video, or even chatting in the Discord. I'm so grateful guys, and I hope you all have an awesome day. So thank you once again, and ta-ta!